What is up, you all? We are back for another Last of Us 3 video. We got to talk about it. But before we get into it, definitely smash the like button because it definitely helps. And make sure you're subscribed and just join the I Like Gaming family. Ring the notification bell so you'll be notified every time I drop another video like this. So, to get into everything, a couple days ago, we saw Neil Druckmann talk about this new game that they've been working on, this new IP that, you know, they're very ambitious about. And he's saying that he knows that it's not going to be easy. It's definitely going to be stressful and things like that. But I want to tell you guys this. I still think The Last of Us 3 is going to come out first. I still think The Last of Us 3 is going to come out first, just because think about it like this. If they bring The Last of Us 3 out and they close out that franchise, because The Last of Us 3 is definitely going to be the final video game in The Last of Us franchise, for sure. We're going to talk about what's next with The Last of Us also here soon. But I just see them closing that out first and starting their new chapter with this new IP after that. So what that could possibly mean is we can possibly be getting The Last of Us 3 before we know it, just because they're in a rush to get the other game out. Not saying that it is good, because it sounds like they're going to have to rush The Last of Us 3. I don't think they're going to rush The Last of Us 3. I think Neil Druckmann is just strategically beating around a bush when they have already been, you know, going through some stuff with Last of Us 3 and the route they want to go in. He already touched on how they already had basically a rough draft up of this original concept that was focusing on Tommy and everything. And now, you know, he's talking about this new IP that he's very passionate about. And I just think that it'll make sense to get The Last of Us 3 first, just off the fact he don't want to keep game hopping. You want to just kind of put your all into one and then close that out and then start a new one. That's just the reality of it, in my opinion. But who knows? It's Neil Druckmann. He makes his decisions with his games and everything with Naughty Dog. But to get into it, Last of Us 3, something that I thought about, and you know, in the previous videos I talked about, you know, stuff that surrounded Dina, Abby, and Ellie. But today I want to talk about some stuff that's surrounding Ellie and Tommy. And a big shout out to you all in, you know, the comments. You guys are killing it, sharing your thoughts and everything. I try my best to say what's up to all you guys and engage with you all, so definitely. But I think with The Last of Us 3 that it's still going to be in that same lane that Neil Druckmann said they were aiming for, which is Tommy. And I was thinking about this. So when you looked at The Last of Us 1, right, we focused on Joel, and then Ellie became like the side character for a while. But then eventually in The Last of Us 2, Ellie was the main character. And then we found out about Abby. So we're seeing this ongoing rhythm and this pattern with The Last of Us having side characters and main characters. So what I think could possibly happen, guys, you might not, you know, like this. What if The Last of Us 3 starts off with Tommy? Now, I saw an amazing comment also on the chat. I don't know who it was. I wish I knew their name, but they brought up that Tommy's injured from everything Abby did, so he can't, you know, be out there doing like all the stuff he used to do, going to war with the enemies and everything. And he actually even touched on it with Ellie at the end of The Last of Us 2, saying, I can't go out there with you and battle Abby. You have to do it. You know, he's hurt. But what if, you know, maybe he can still do some things. Who knows? Maybe he can still do some things. Maybe he needed time to heal. You know, who knows? Maybe he'll hop on some Rambo shit. But what if something happens to Tommy, you know, that also brings Ellie out of the shadows, because she already lost Joel and now she has to find out who did what to Tommy. Maybe that's her mission. You know, maybe either Tommy gets killed or he gets like abducted, how I said that will happen possibly to Dina, and you guys said, you know, that you don't think that Dina is a big enough character, which that's fair. Now Tommy's big enough though, guys. You know what I'm saying? What if somehow, some way, Tommy gets abducted, Ellie finds out about the news, and now she wants to find out who's doing this to Tommy, and she doesn't want this same thing that happened to Joel to happen to Tommy. So it's like 3 times harder on Ellie, if that makes sense. And maybe along the way she runs into Dina, she finds Dina, you know, she ends up being able to cross paths with Dina, also crossing paths with Abby and Lev for the same reasons I said in previous videos. Maybe Lev gets took away from Abby or something like that. Maybe Abby's in danger, but she has to cross paths with Abby to get to Tommy. I think that would be cool to have that as the base. Maybe we start off as Tommy with a couple missions, about 8 or 10 missions, and then the story starts with Tommy and then it branches off to Ellie having to come back and save Tommy. I think that would be cool. Now, that'll be a bold move if they take out Tommy like they did Joel, because I mean, Naughty Dog, think about it, guys. They're no strangers to taking out main characters, or side characters. They will definitely, cross some characters out. We know that from previous video game experiences with The Last of Us. So who knows? I can definitely see Ellie being on a journey to kind of find who did what to Tommy. Especially, what would be crazy is what if Abby still has hate in her heart after, she let her go, Ellie let her go. What if Abby ends up still having hate in her heart? And it sounds crazy. Maybe it's a hot take, but what if he does something to Tommy off the fact, he was the sniper and he was laying shit down? Maybe she's like, it's you, it's you again. I thought I did such and such. But then she takes him out, and then you got to deal with Abby again. And maybe Abby has formed her own group, of dangerous people. And she's like the captain of her group, and you got to get to Abby one more time. But this time it's do or die in this fight. I'm liking what I'm saying right now. I think that'll be cool, especially because it's not something that's too far-fetched. It's something that's still in the core of the story of The Last of Us. Especially, with Tommy having that energy like Joel. He kind of brings that Joel presence, if you know what I mean. And it can kind of feel like we're closing out this franchise the way we started with the older guy, got Ellie, but now she stepped up and older. And, JJ and Dina, Lev and Abby, so everyone can still be incorporated. Plus, it'll be crazy to get some new cast members and everything involved in this story, in my opinion. Overall, I think The Last of Us 3 is going to be completely different from the last two, because the first one was The Last of Us, which we all love, the reason why we love this franchise. The second one definitely upgraded with graphics, gameplay, and storytelling, in my opinion. I really do love The Last of Us 2, but I think 3 is going to do all that times 3, if that makes sense. I think the gameplay, the storytelling, the characters, the graphics, it's just going to be wow. But I definitely think we're going to be getting it sooner than we think. Just off this, video or this interview, we saw Neil Druckmann talk about him trying to focus basically on this main IP. I doubt, he tries to put that out with The Last of Us 3 still hanging in the air, because you're going to want to close out your main franchise, then focus on your new one. That's just the reality of it. But I'm saying, I don't know, maybe he has a different train of thought. Maybe he thinks differently from us. But yeah, you guys know what I mean. But comment down below what you all think about everything we just talked about with The Last of Us 3 and the stuff that Neil Druckmann talked about. Definitely let me know. Unfortunately, it's the end of the video. I want you all to hit me up on my Instagram at I Like Gaming, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace. Till next time.